toxic. I don't wonder what she does. I mean, I did say she's very seductive. Very, very seductive. And like, I kind of want to do a video about her and her ex-wife. But I know her ex-wife is very private. I don't want to uh, impugn or prod into her life. She seems like a... Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Time. My name is Holly, so grateful to have you all. Let's get into this reading. I love all the readings I do. I'm so grateful for this channel, for all of you. Please subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this, and like the video. It really, really does help me. If you want to support the channel, I have 2 memberships available. One is $4.99, the other is $9.99, and you do get many perks. Also, if you want to support me personally, I have 3 apps available on Apple Store that I coded myself. I program, so I am very, very excited about them. Actually, I have a big one coming up very soon that I will tell you all about. Okay, so let's get into this reading. I'm reading about Elon Musk and Amber Heard. You know, I have been doing these readings for many years. I started, I don't really know too much about her. I don't keep up with celebrity stuff. Really, really, really bad that I don't. But there's too much it just overwhelms me, especially because I have dealt a lot in my adult life with a lot of celebrity clientele, so forth, in some shape or manner. So it inundates me, you know. I always say this, I'm into reality TV, I'm not into regular celebrity news. But I will say this about the Amber Heard thing. I remember when I first heard about it, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, I always thought there was something weird. Actually, when I first heard about it, I said on a live, Johnny Depp live I did, that I had first heard about it through a colleague. But, in fact, I heard about her, Amber Heard. But I do remember, because I used to work and teach at different yoga studios, and I was at this other yoga studio, and I remember, which is actually, this yoga studio is so crazy. It's really close to Amber Heard's penthouse, the one downtown. So crazy. I'm not gonna say exactly where it is, but it's like walking distance. And when I saw it on the thing, I was like, oh my god, I used to walk past that, because I used to live in Koreatown, and I would go to downtown. I used to go to Soul Cycle. I used to go to Whole Foods there. So I was just like, and I used to work there. I used to teach at the yoga studio for 3 years there. So it's crazy. Small world. So when I remember another colleague, sweet guy, such a sweet guy. Oh God, I hope he's okay wherever he is. He's such a sweet soul. And he would say to me, we were talking about this whole Billy woman, and we were reading another magazine, because I mentioned reading. He was reading the magazine, not me, not I, excuse me. And he mentioned this whole Amber Heard thing, and he said that apparently on the magazine cover it said Elon Musk said that Amber Heard was like the worst ex he had, something like that, along those lines. This was in 2019. This when everything was coming out about her, you know. And he said she tried to hit him or something like that. I'm not sure what the full story is. You know, the media does often lie. So I was taken aback, and I was like, oh my god, who is this person causing all this drama? Because I had recently spoken to another colleague. Wait, did that happen after? It was around the same time. I can't remember which story came first. So I just remember thinking to myself, like, Elon Musk was with Amber Heard, but isn't she married to Johnny Depp? And then I heard she was with James Franco, who I've met quite a lot, actually, James Franco. Interesting personality. But I just thought to myself, wow, she's really all over the place. I mean, I don't judge, but I was just like, oh my gosh, because I have a lot of guy friends too, so people think that I'm dating them, and I'm not. But I was like, this is... And the kind of guys she's with are not really, except for Johnny Depp. I didn't know much about Johnny Depp. But I had heard certain things about Elon Musk. I've met James Franco on a few occasions. So, actually, quite a few occasions, which is kind of funny. But my opinion of James Franco is that I don't know. I just don't get a good vibe from him. I don't get a good vibe from him, James Franco, and I don't get a good vibe from Elon Musk. So when I heard that story about, he said she's the best ex he had, but then she tried to ruin his life. Uh, Elon Musk about Amber Heard. I was like, what kind of person says that? I mean, I don't want to judge. It comes across judgmental, but it's just like you clearly have issues if the best ex you have is somebody who tried to ruin your life. You know, when I speak about my favorite ex, I only have wonderful things to say about him. It didn't work out between us. I think it was more timing and the situation he was in. I think of him very fondly. Anytime somebody asks me about him, I always say wonderful things about him. You know, my favorite ex is not somebody who tries to ruin my life. You know, so it is what it is. So I wanted to get to the energies. I've done a lot of videos about them. In fact, I have said that I think in a weird, creepy way, the person who has spent money on trying to bring Johnny Depp down is Elon Musk. And then later it came out that he had paid for her lawyers or something. They still have a connection. I don't want to get into the kids thing because I don't like to talk about kids because I think kids are off limit. I wouldn't want people to talk about my kids. So I feel like I have that strong boundary. Pregnancy, kids, off bounds. But we can talk about adults and we can learn from them. So I definitely saw, and you know, when I was thinking about it, because somebody asked me the other day, what would Elon Musk have to gain from going against Johnny Depp and being so strongly behind him? And I'm like, well, if you feel like you have a favorite ex, right? And you're a vengeful person, who's the favorite ex? What did your favorite ex, who's the person that you think made people see a bad light about your favorite ex? You know? And that could be seen as Johnny Depp. Also, I think that he is very jealous of Johnny Depp. I think that he has, let's face it, he's not, you know, in the looks department, he's not really scoring. He's very smart. Does many good things. He's not for me. I'm not into Elon Musk at all like that. I think he's a very sneaky person, which I don't like at all. But if you grow up, especially he said he was bullied. He actually went to my sister's school, which is so crazy. But if you grow up bullied and you grow up feeling like the outsider, which most of us do, you know, but if you think it's based on your looks and not having that cool factor that a lot of nerds don't have, they don't have the cool factor, let's just face it, you seek it out or you want to be like it in another man, you know, and I think that man is represented by Johnny Depp. I think that he's very jealous of him. I said this before in videos, so I really strongly think that. And also my last third point of information is that you don't really hear the media speaking ill of Elon Musk, even though there is a lot of things you can say about him. Other than his politics, you don't really hear anything about his private life. And I don't think that is an accident. Because you could say a lot about his private life. But I think he has some kind of hold over the media. I think he's a very sneaky person. I think he does things behind the scenes. And one day we'll find out about it. Because this is the age of Aquarius. We will find out about it. But, yeah. So, I just want to pull up the energies, Elon Musk and Amber Heard. Because I just feel like they are kind of still working together. And I said that I strongly see that when this Empress appears, the Empress is Johnny's new woman. Amber's going to be extremely jealous, you know, and I did describe in my recent Amber Heard video that of her, it's like the Wicked Witch, the evil stepmother, Maleficent. She's looking in the mirror like, who's the fairest of them all, you know, because she was told probably growing up that she's pretty, and that's a problem a lot of pretty girls have. They're usually the prettiest in their class. They're the prettiest in the group. But what happens when somebody else prettier comes along? Because there's always going to be somebody prettier than you. There's always going to be somebody thinner than you. It's not a competition. You are your own person, you know? But I think some people don't get that. And whenever somebody prettier comes along, an inside insecure, especially when you get older, you know, and your looks start to fade, which I see happening to her. So with the energies, I'm using the Lycius Tarot. I don't know if I mentioned that. With 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, and Seven of Cups. So, especially with Ace of Pentacles, I definitely see here some kind of planning. And the planning, I still believe Elon Musk, in a weird way, will do anything to make her happy. If Amber Heard went back to Elon Musk today, he would take her. He would take her. So toxic. Really, really toxic. I don't wonder what she does. I mean, I did say she's very seductive. Very, very seductive. And like, I kind of want to do a video about her and her ex-wife. But I know her ex-wife is very private. I don't want to impugn or prod into her life. She seems like a very down-to-earth, quiet type person. But I really wonder what happened between those two, because I feel like something not good happened. So with Six of Cups, King of Swords, and the Fool, he's going to offer her a new life somewhere tropical, like Hawaii. I get Hawaii. I do think he is bankrolling her right now. I think it is connected to kids, but I don't want to get into it because, like I said, I do have a boundary. So I am well aware. You know, some of you might write the comments section, what about this? I'm like, I am very well aware, but it's just a boundary that I have. But I do think he is Six of Cups giving her money. And he has been. I think that's where she gets her money from. I think she goes to him and she says to him, oh my God, this happened to me. Everything's always happening to her. You know, this kind of people. But they fall. Sun and Cancer, I say this all the time. Elon Musk is a Sun and Cancer. They have the most twisted view of what relationships are. It's very sad. I call it the Cancer curse. They get stuck in these relationships that the person doesn't want to change. They're always trying to change that person, or they're always trying to help that person. Similar to Pisces, but Pisces are less dumb about it. Cancers have this like blind loyalty to whoever they're with, because I think some of them have such deep insecurities. And you can see that Elon Musk, you know, I was watching him on Joe Rogan because I really like watching Joe Rogan. I don't agree with everything he says, but that's the beauty of life. We have choice. We have cognitive thinking. Somebody doesn't agree with what we're saying, we don't have to get crazy. We can just say, I don't agree with this. But I was watching him and he's just very insecure. I find it fascinating because, you know, he did go to my sister's school. So I've always found that fascinating, how you can go from, I mean, it's not a bad school, it's actually a good school. It's called Bryanston High, and it's in a good neighborhood. It's in a very good neighborhood. I would say comparatively, it's like, that neighborhood is like, in LA, it's like, I want to say Brentwood, you know, not Beverly Hills, but close, you know. So it's a good school. It's not that good anymore because they're falling apart. But when my sister went to it, it was a good school. Elon Musk went to it, it was a good school. But and they had a great technology program. I think that's one of the reasons that my dad wanted my sister to go, because we have technology in our family, and hence Elon Musk being good at technology. But that aside, I find it fascinating. You can come from that school, you know, and become the world's richest man. I think it's so fascinating because when we used to go pick up my sister, and we used to walk across the bridge, because it was a bridge that connected the junior school to the high school. So we used to walk across the bridge, and it's just crazy that he went from that, you know. I literally saw where he came from, and now he's the richest person in the world. So I find that so fascinating. So I've watched videos, interviews about him to just see his kind of demeanor, get his energy, and he just seems very soulless is the word. And I'll see that from the interviews I've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, he'll kind of want to be down with the cool people, you know. And that's what the energy that I got with him and Johnny Depp, is that he looks at Johnny Depp as cool, as fun, which he is those things, but he doesn't have it in him. And you know, because I went to school for coding, and some of my peers, I don't want to speak mean about them because they are very smart, highly intelligent, but they don't have the cool factor. They just don't. Like, a lot of them are very awkward and they get made fun of it because they're not seen as cool, and everybody wants that cool factor. If you don't have it, you want to buy it, but you can't buy cool. It's like style. So I think he wears these leather jackets and stuff. I'm like, the guy has no style, no cool factor. He's highly intelligent, but it doesn't translate to anything but money, you know. So that's just what I saw about him. That's why I feel as though he will always run to Amber Heard, because to him that's the only way he can get a woman like that. Even though Amber Heard is very, in my opinion, emotionally and mentally screwed up, he has placed so much value on looks because he doesn't have them. He never had them, and he hasn't been around women like that. When you're around women like that, and women are throwing themselves like that at you all the time, you become desensitized to it, and then you want to see people's character. Then you want to see what people are bringing to the table. But if you value looks that much, you've never had them, you will accept someone just for their looks and not for their character. And I think that's what he sees about Amber Heard. He's like, because she is very pretty, and he just sees the looks. He sees a statue. He doesn't see the character, the person, the manipulation. And in a weird twisted way, I think he thinks, okay, she doesn't have to be like that to me, especially coming from an upbringing that he had, where it seems very dysfunctional, highly dysfunctional. But he will look past the dysfunction because he just wants a trophy. So, with Eight of Swords, Judgment, and King of Pentacles, he is, I believe, the source of her money. Big time. Big, big, big time. And he's going to be the source of her comeback. So she's going to come back to the US. Wow. She's going to come back to the US. And say that she's changed. He's going to be behind her. She's going to have to come back. I think one of the Six of Swords, Queen of Cups, Page of Pentacles. I see her literally like fighting him. It's just like, this is my thing about Elon Musk. I'm like, you have so much money, but you have how many kids now? 14, 15. It's outrageous, But those poor kids, that's all I can say. But anyway, so she's going to leave. She's going to leave Spain. She's in Spain, right? And she's going to move to Hawaii. And the bankroller is Elon Musk. Queen of Cups, Page of Pentacles. She's going to try to come out again and say she was done wrong by the media. Elon Musk is going to get her covers and stuff like that. They're always going to have this bond. I think it's also a Sun and Cancer, Sun and Taurus bond too. That Sun and Taurus they can be very dominating. And Sun and Cancers like to be dominated because they don't really trust themselves a lot of the time. But she goes to him and she's like, with a sub story. Sometimes she doesn't even go to sub story. She's just like, I need money, And he's like, okay, how much do you need? She has a hold over him, and she's going to use him as a way to come back into Hollywood. She's going to try to do like Lifetime movies, that kind of thing. And the person who is paying for all of this is Elon Musk. So that's what I have for you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like the video, and check out my apps on the App Store.